Hey folks, Joe Valley here from Quiet Light Brokerage. Welcome back to another episode of the Quiet Light Podcast. Today's podcast is brought to you by, yes, the Exitpreneur's Playbook. If you own an online business and you want to make sure you get maximum value when you exit that business, even if you're doing it on your own to an aggregator, pick up the book, read chapter 12, chapter 11, negotiating with aggregators, all the deal structures. It's there for you and will help you build a better business and get more value someday. Building a better business is something that we all want to do, and today's guest is helping lots of folks do that through video and digital aspects, digital marketing. His name is Justin Kelsey. He's a former banker, realized the errors in his ways, and started his own company called VAXA Digital. Justin, welcome to the Quiet Light Podcast.
Appreciate it, Joe. Thanks for having me. I'm stoked to be here.
Now, you're looking pretty hip and cool. Did you wear the black T-shirt and hat backwards when you were working at Bank of America?
All the time, every day, and that's why I got fired. No, just kidding. Quit on my own accord, and much more relaxed, obviously, attire now that we're in the startup world here. And so this is pretty much my day to day.
Yeah, it's a good world to be in. Tell us about VAXA and what you do there and why it's necessary.
Of course. So we, I noticed I've always loved creative. I've been making videos my whole life, but only about a year and a half ago realized that there was a massive gap in the e-commerce world when it came to content. So I saw an opportunity. Again, I've been in banking and finance and strategy consulting my whole career. So never anything aligned with video or e-commerce. But I'm able to kind of quickly see gaps. And I saw a gap in this market aligned with one of my passions and realized e-commerce brands need video creative and they're willing to pay good money for it. And that's basically how we launched VAXA. Started as a side hustle, did it while I was working at the bank for about a year and a half before finally jumping, 2 feet in and just saying, let's do this thing. Now we've, had a chance to work with some really awesome brands from Pure One to a good company and, everyone in between. And just really the goal being create scroll stopping video content that's going to stop someone in their tracks at really any stage of that buyer journey as an e-commerce customer.
So it's not the initial video it's not the product demonstration video, but it's, you say scroll stopping, meaning somebody's online looking at ads and something pops up and they watch that video, click after 7 seconds, so they go through to it. And is that what you're doing?
To some degree. I mean, believe it or not, there are many different frameworks we use. We have about 15 frameworks and we're going to walk through those in some degree of detail today. But okay. There's really no magic formula. It comes down to testing. Those scroll stopping, quick, snappy, short 7 to 10 second videos definitely have a place, but also the product explainer videos, the demonstration videos, the FAQ videos, some of the more boring content also has a very specific place in the customer journey as an ad itself, rather than just sitting on the product page. So a lot of brands don't realize that. A lot of brands are misusing the video that they're producing in the wrong places. And, hopefully after listening to this today, we'll be able to solve some of those pain points for anyone who out there is an e-commerce brand. So
as timing would have it, I just got off a call with Chris Moore, our CMO, talking about this very thing for the Exitpreneur's Playbook, talking about doing a quick video that leads to a 5-minute video that leads to a 15 or 20 minute deeper video explaining the problem to be solved. But you're doing this all for product oriented e-commerce companies, correct?
Correct. And everything we're going to talk about today is well under 60 seconds. So we're talking short, snappy videos that are all going to be able to be run on pretty much any platform, from YouTube to Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat, paid social, paid search for the most part, mostly paid social. So everything's going to be under 60 seconds in most cases.
Okay. Why 60 seconds?
Just because that's, again, really what the cutoff is on a lot of these platforms. You don't want to be producing something that's going to go 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes and expect somebody to sit there and stop in their scroll and watch that. Again, people want to consume content fast. The magic number is really actually between 20 and 30 seconds. In a lot of cases, that's what the data is suggesting. But there's definitely places for longer 40, 50, 60 second videos as customers kind of get into that retargeting phase, like more long form content kind of works there. And when I say long form, I mean 50 to 60 seconds. But it really is going to vary and again, come down to testing, but there's a place for different video durations as well.
So it seems, necessary to have video content, but it seems overwhelming to produce it. How does somebody get started? If they're not using VAXA Digital, what advice can you give them if they're going to try to go this on their own?
Yeah. So believe it or not, some of the highest performing content right now looks the worst. I don't know how else to say it, but it's like very low fidelity, very organic to the platform it's sitting on. That's why you see what we call UGC ads, user generated content. The selfie style iPhone testimonial type content really outperforming so many other content types, especially at certain points in the funnel. But that is content, for example, that anyone can grab their smartphone, start recording a selfie, pass it off to their friends, pass it off to their family, have the product in it, follow a general framework again, which we can kind of talk through today. But as long as you have an iPhone and as long as you have halfway decent lighting and you're in a quiet environment that's somewhat controlled, you can make pretty amazing content that actually converts really well without having to hire an agency or even go to Upwork or Fiverr or something of the sort.
Well, walk us through the phases that you're talking about then. Let's get started on that.
Yeah, of course. So when we think of content, and this is again how we think of content, but should align with just about how every marketer thinks of bringing a customer through the journey. There's really 4 stages in a customer buyer journey for e-commerce customers. And again, a lot of you may know this, but it's good to relate it to video. So at the very highest level, we have the awareness stage. Following that, we have the consideration stage. The awareness stage is really meant for just, again, cold audiences, someone who's very unfamiliar with the brand. The consideration stage is, hey, we exist as a brand. We're here to solve these problems that you're having now that we kind of, know you're interested and aware of the brand. Then you have the conversion stage, which follows the consideration stage. The conversion stage is what we call our almost level 2 retargeting. That's going to be, bringing someone from that consideration stage into actually converting, going back to the website, purchasing something, buying something. And then finally, you have what we call the nurturing stage of content, which is someone's already bought. They're hopefully going to be coming back to buy more in the future, increasing that customer lifetime value. Really getting, the most juice out of the lemon, if you want to think of it that way, buying gifts for friends, family, et cetera. So those, at the highest level are the 4 content types you want to think through. If it'd be helpful, we can always kind of, go a level deeper, talk about specific content types for each of those categories.
Yeah, let's do that because, I want people to be able to take action on their own. Yeah. The reality is we want to try to do these things on our own and maybe some will be successful and maybe some will be like, okay, that's cool. But I just, let me just get in touch with VAXA. So let's get started on talk about
so
it.
At the very highest level, awareness stage. Again, the goal of this is to add value to the customer. So for anyone out there thinking, okay, how do I build awareness for my brand? How do I make people more aware of my brand? Let's say you have, easy example would be, some sort of like keto product. We've worked with a lot of keto products in the past. Good example would be a keto product. Let's say you're a brand new keto brand. It's a very saturated space. The goal is should not be let's sell everyone on our keto product at this stage in the funnel. At the awareness stage, it's let's add value to the customer. So what can we do to add value? There's really 2 main ways to do it. The first being informative style content. So this is, again, very low fidelity. You could shoot this on an iPhone. You can edit it in iMovie or any basic video editor. The goal is you want to give out as much free advice related to the niche. So maybe, again, if you have a keto product, 7 recipes you can make from home involving keto baked goods, or here are 7 ingredients you have in your pantry that are keto friendly. It's all of these almost BuzzFeed style videos that you see running out there that the sole purpose is not to get anyone to click to your website. It's not even really to get them familiar with the brand. Maybe one of those 7 keto-friendly foods is your product to build a little bit of early brand rapport. But the goal is let's educate the customer. Let's give out a lot of free value with then the target of that being to retarget them. And we'll get to that in a second. But we want to give out as much value as possible. We want to educate the customer. We want to get them to click, like, share, comment on these videos. You're running these hopefully on Facebook, on Instagram, anywhere they can get engagement on them. So that customers just really share them as much as possible, engage with them as much as possible. To almost the opposite effect of that, the other type of, I guess, value you can give to a customer is humor. Everyone likes humor videos. Everyone likes memes, satire type videos. You see them all the time on Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, because people like them. People like to laugh. People like to, tag their friends in funny videos. The goal of this is make it as relevant as possible. Find something, again, if you're in the keto space, like, make fun of people who are on the keto diet, like do things that people are going to relate to and laugh about. And because of this, they're going to share the content. They're going to tag people in it. They're going to like it. Again, you're not pushing anybody anywhere. You're just, if anything, familiarizing them a little bit with your brand because you're the page posting them. But again, you can make these skits on an iPhone if you have, some degree of a sense of humor. If you don't, go to Fiverr and hire someone to write a funny comedy script for you for literally like $20. There's so many like funny freelance comedians out there that can do this for you. And then just take your iPhone and record it. Again, low fidelity is totally fine at awareness stage content. It fits into the platform. People expect it. And there's really like, I don't know, no need to have a massive cinema camera setup here.
Where's the call to action in all of that? I used to do this on radio in 30 to 60 seconds, and there was always a CTA at the end. Is there a call to action in the awareness stage?
You could use a call to action, but again, you don't really need to. You don't want to seem salesy. You don't want to seem like you're selling the product. So if there is a call to action, it could be like, do you have another food you would recommend adding to this list? Things like that. Things that are subtle call to actions that get engagement, comments on the video, but not actually calling them to go visit, click out of the video, go to your website. Obviously, if they really think they want to, they'll do it anyways. They'll find a way to find your website, click on your profile, et cetera. But the call to action, if anything, should just be to get them to engage with that video, to like it, to comment, to share it with a friend that might find these 7 keto-friendly foods helpful. But really the call to action should just be engagement. And I'll tell you about that in a second as to why that's so important.
And you can do that in 60 seconds or less than 60 seconds.
Yeah, think about it like BuzzFeed. If you want to get some examples of this, go to the BuzzFeed or Tasty Pages or any of those on Instagram and look at how they make a recipe video or one of these informative listicle style videos in under 60 seconds. And again, you spend less than 10 seconds on 5 different things and boom, you've got your video.
Okay, I'm just going to stop the podcast here. I'm going to drive to Charlotte, and you and I are going to work on some video content for the Entrepreneur's Playbook. That's the end, folks. No, I'm just kidding. It is going to happen, though. I know this already. All right, what's next? What's the next phase?
Yeah, so those work great in that phase. There's other things you can test in that phase, UGC content, et cetera. But for the purpose of this conversation, we'll talk about those in these other phases. So in the next phase, really all we care about now is engaging those folks who watched those videos. And this is what I call, again, the consideration stage, or what I call level 1 retargeting. So now what we're going to be doing is creating, again, this is paid social. So using Facebook or Instagram as an example, we're going to create a lookalike audience of anybody who engaged with that video. So anyone who watched that first video, anyone who liked it, commented on it, shared it, you can pull into these custom targeting audiences on Facebook. Again, if you're a marketer, you're probably familiar with this. If not, you probably know someone who can help you do this. But the goal is you should be able to now target anybody who engaged with that video, who watched more than 75% of that video. You can put them into a custom little bucket, for lack of better terms. Anyone who watched more than 95% of this video, chances are, if they're watching a video that's 7 keto-friendly foods you can find at home, they're going to be interested in keto-friendly products. And now is when you're going to start hitting them with your product ads. So that's kind of the strategy of this phase. And in terms of specific videos, now is when we're going to introduce the actual product. So this is
a separate video. This is not the first video. Separate video. Okay.
Totally separate video. If you had to think of it in kind of phases, again, these 4 phases, you're going to start with getting them to learn about the brand a little bit, to just overall give them value. Now we're going to actually sell them. So this is when the selling takes place. So now we're going to retarget, again, anyone who watched those first bits of content, anyone who's maybe been to the site could get lumped into this audience. But the goal is, we know that the people who watch those first videos are interested in something related to your product. So there's a really good chance that getting them to watch these next sets of videos you're going to give them, they're going to convert a lot better. Your customer acquisition cost is going to be significantly lower than just going after a blank, wide open audience or something of the sort. So now the best way to do that is something called an explainer ad. So this is almost your typical product video that you would see on Instagram. So it's going to follow a general framework of, we're going to grab your attention. Again, that scroll stopper, we call it the hook or the scroll stopper. Grab your attention in those first couple seconds. This could be through text. This could be through visuals, anything that's going to stop somebody. Like, what's going to stop someone in their tracks? It's for you to figure out. But from there, what we're going to do is follow a general framework that goes something along the lines of problem, agitate that problem, talk through the benefits, then the features. So describe the problem somebody is facing. In the keto example, it might be trying to lose weight or to eat healthier. You're going to agitate that by saying, this is maybe an extreme example, but are you tired of being the fattest person in the room or something like that? It's going to,
how about, how'd you like to look better naked? Now you can with.
Exactly. Yeah. Something.
That's actually an ad that I recorded
Really?
2 decades ago, and it was crazy successful. Fat Assassin. Fat Assassin was the name of that product. Okay. Tangent. Get me back on track. Keep going.
Yeah, but you did it exactly what I was explaining. You agitated that problem. So you name a problem and then you exaggerate it or agitate it a little bit. And then after you've done that, the person's like, whoa, that is totally a problem I have. And that's something I can relate to. Now you talk about the feature or the benefits of what you're selling them. So, hey, help lose weight, or, made with 7 natural ingredients. Then you explain that a little bit. You'd wrap it up with some sort of social proof, 500 5-star reviews or 10,000 5-star reviews. Following that, maybe with a little UGC testimonial like cut into the video. Again, a lot of this you could shoot on an iPhone. Explainer testimonials start to get a little higher produced if you want them to convert. I would recommend working with maybe a freelancer, an agency, a photographer, videographer, and at least getting the footage, and you can kind of chop it together yourself and add the captions. But for this video, it's very much product-centric. It's fully focused on the product in action, cool shots of the product. And then you wrap it up with a call to action, driving them to the website in this case. So
how long is that video? Is that one, the explainer video, still another 60 seconds or you go longer?
Nope. Any video we're going to talk about today under 60 seconds. So this one specifically, I would say 30-ish seconds is kind of the sweet spot, up to 40 seconds if you have enough content, if you're adding in some UGC bits to it. But for the most part, very short, very sweet, to the point, following that framework, ending with an offer, maybe like, hey, 20% off or scarcity offer, this offer only lasts for the next week. And then ending with that final call to action being, hey, visit our website to learn more. And this is when you're finally driving traffic with a direct sales call to action to the website. With the goal, then they're going to look at the product page, et cetera. Do you have a question?
No, keep going, man.
Okay, cool. So next in that same category, so we're still talking retargeting, we're still talking consideration. Another ad that's really powerful here to kind of complement that explainer ad. Again, you can kind of create a campaign around specifically consideration and just bucket these different ad types in there, test these different ad types. Slight diversion. Testing is absolutely key with any one of these. There's no like perfect prescription as to like, this is definitely going to be the best retargeting video you can do. Test all of these at all stages of the funnel. This is just what we found based on our data. It works best. The other type of ad in this second stage, this level 1 retargeting, is a lifestyle or use case ad. Lately, believe it or not, we've actually seen these not performing quite as well for some brand types, but they do really perform well for clothing and shoes and anything that's going to be worn. So in this framework, it shows somebody using the product out in action, showing it in a specific use case. So if you're a shoe company, it's going to be showing a bunch of people running with the shoe, tying the shoe. Again, very heavily driven by the product-centric shots. It's going to be very B-roll heavy. Maybe there's a voiceover, maybe there's some captions that kind of explain what's happening, but following really the product all throughout its day and different use cases. Maybe the background's changing. If it's a shoe, it's at the beach, it's at the gym, it's at these various environments, and those perform pretty well. Another one that works really, really well in this phase is what we call a side-by-side or comparison ad. Again, you're still trying to prove that you can help a viewer solve their problem in this case. So a side-by-side or comparison ad might literally be a split screen, straight down the middle and showing your product on the right-hand side. The left-hand side could be your competitor's product. You want to make sure that your product looks drastically better at whatever this feature is you're highlighting than your competitor. And this framework's actually been around for, decades. You go back to the 1950s, you see paper towel commercials using this. Obviously, is probably one of the easiest examples. Yeah. Like, hey, look at our absorption on the right-hand side. Look at our competitor's absorption on the left-hand side. It exaggerates the absorption feature of their paper towels. And you can really.
I'm trying to think of those paper towel ads, and I don't think the brand name of the competitor was there. Do you hold up the actual competitor's product? If you're selling pickleball paddles, I guess they're called. I don't know. Are you literally holding up your competitor's pickleball paddle? I'm sorry. I sold a pickleball business, Amazing Aces, and I can't remember the name of the racket. There you go. Racket.
The racket.
So do you show the actual competitor's product, and is that kosher? Is that acceptable?
It is definitely a gray area. To be honest, we always err on the side of caution and just say the competitor or the big competitor. You can almost kind of like, you can see it and sometimes know exactly who you're talking about depending on the product. Technically, and again, I'm not a lawyer, so don't take this as legal advice. In a lot of cases, you are allowed to use a competitor's name, but it has to be purely facts. If you start to like skew it at all, you start to make them, not properly use their product, then it just gets really hairy. In my opinion, I would always avoid using competitors' names unless you have a massive legal team to back up these claims that you're making. Well,
I see, when you're buying software or something like that, they'll do all of the competitor products in the different boxes to check that you're getting with their product versus the other. So, as long as it's true, I guess it's okay.
Yeah. As long as it's purely like apples to apples, fact to fact, no problem using a competitor's name, but otherwise in a video like this, we typically just avoid it, say the competitor. Another one that works really good in this phase is what we call a man on the street video. So this is basically, let's say, we're walking around the streets of Charlotte here. We're literally going up to people with the product and handing it to them. And let's say it's a sweater. We actually shot one of these yesterday. We had a sweater that we were trying. It's obviously a little hot for a sweater right now, but we were faking it. And we were saying like, hey, try this on. Give us your reactions to it. And we were literally walked up to people in Uptown and said, try on this sweater. Tell us what you think. And people were taking it on, feeling it, saying, wow, the fabric feels great, blah, blah, blah. And
you walked up to actors or to strangers?
Just real strangers. Yeah, real strangers. Wow, had them sign a consent form, gave them a $10 Starbucks gift card if they appeared in the video. Just super easy. That's what I would recommend if you guys were going to go out and film one of these yourselves. Incentivize some people and they'll do it. But basically capturing as many of those raw organic reactions as possible. Again, this can feel very organic. TikTok does this. You see it on TikTok a lot of times. You see it on Instagram, Facebook. You can film it on an iPhone, no problem. Throw it on a tripod, have a little mic, a fake mic if you want to look like you're holding something up to someone's face, but say like, hey, give us your reaction on this. And then this is basically just a highlight reel of those best reactions you gathered by the product. We see it work incredibly well in this phase just to, again, drive traffic to the website, showing how you can help someone solve a problem. And basically just showing a quick, again, 30 to 45 seconds is kind of that sweet spot version of, hey, these are all these natural, real reactions to our product. It works really well in this phase.
Okay. Which phase are we in now?
Same phase. That was the last video of this consideration phase. So that second phase of content.
All right.
And again, these can kind of cross phases. So we're really talking about more of the video types, but again, use them, test them as needed. But for that second phase, someone who's maybe generally familiar with the brand, but not very familiar, they've never been to the website. The purpose of these videos, the call to action is going to be very much driven towards let's get these people to the website to learn more about the product.
Okay.
So now we enter the next phase, which is the conversion stage. Basically in this stage, conversion stage is all about now somebody's been to the website, but they didn't purchase. Maybe they added it to their cart. For whatever reason, they're still considering the product and not converting yet. So we call it the conversion stage of what we're doing now. So now, again, someone's been to the website, they clicked away, the pixels hit them, the Facebook pixel, Google pixel, whatever pixel you had set up on the site. Now the goal is we want to retarget them back to the site. So, chances are they saw the product, but they are not sure if it's maybe the best fit for them in this phase. So, they've seen all the previous videos, but they're like, well, I can go buy this other paper towel brand, or I can go buy this other scarf. Like, why do I really want to go buy this scarf that may be slightly more expensive from a brand I'm not super familiar with? So now we're going to hit them with this conversion stage content. The best way to do that, in my opinion, is what we call a UGC compilation. It's basically that UGC, user-generated selfie style content, but a bunch of it chopped together into one quick video. Again, you might have 10 5-second bits. That's a bit extreme, more so like 5-10-second bits. And it's just a bunch of people giving their like natural, raw, talking to the camera, selfie style reaction to the product. Generally, it's going to follow that same framework of let's talk about the problem and how this problem helped or how this product helped solve that problem. So it's going to be like, hey, what's up, guys? I'm Justin. I was always freezing and I could not get warm and I could not look good while I was doing it. That's when I discovered the blah, blah, blah scarf. And since then, I felt great. I've looked good. I can throw on a suit. I can wear it with this, blah, blah, blah. And you're going to take that bit and you're going to do 5 other bits like that with various demographics. If you're going after multiple customer personas, this is a perfect framework to do that. So if you have, again, a children's product, maybe you're going after teachers, maybe you're going after the kids themselves, maybe you're going after parents, you can have multiple personas in the same video and kind of capture multiple audiences in a single video. And it's adding that social proof. So again, if someone's like, I know this scarf brand exists and I know this scarf brand exists, clearly all these people are picking, this scarf brand here, maybe I'll go try it for myself as well.
And those people are actors that you hire? Friends, family to say it?
It depends. So in a lot of cases now, brands are collecting their own UGC. At VAXA, we have a tool we give every client we work with to collect UGC for them, because again, it helps make our life a lot easier when we already have a library of UGC to pick from. Otherwise, we always film it ourselves with every shoot we do. The entire crew and team will film some UGC with a product. We'll reach out to family, friends that fit that demographic, have them film some UGC. But again, someone at home that wants to do one of these videos, this is one of the easiest frameworks to do from home. Have a bunch of your friends, family, take an iPhone, record some of this content, holding up your product, talking problem solution. and then chop it together in iMovie with a little call to action to go, hey, visit the website for more. Again, we're trying to get them back to the website. They've already been there. And in a lot of cases, this could also work top of funnel. This could be the very first video people see and they might convert. So again, testing is absolutely key when it comes to that. In this same phase of content, what we call the conversion stage, a couple other frameworks that work really well. One that particularly works well is what we call our expert testimonial. So in this case, it's going to be interviewing an expert in that field. So we'll go away from the scarf example and maybe go into coffee or something of the sort. So maybe it's a coffee product you're selling. In this case, maybe we have a little more organic of a setup, or not organic, I should say, a little more studio based. So a little more higher fidelity cinema camera, professional lighting, professional mic. Maybe they're sitting down, if it's a coffee product, in a coffee shop and it's all well lit, really looks good. And they're talking to the camera now and saying like, hey guys, I'm a barista or coffee shop owner. I recently discovered so-and-so coffee brand and we've been serving out to our customers and they absolutely love it. So it's similar to a UGC in a way, but it's coming from an expert, someone who's trusted in the field. Ideally, you have a lower thirds graphic that, shows their actual full name with, who they are. So somebody could actually go look them up, realize, hey, they are an expert in this field. Yeah. They must know what they're talking about. Otherwise they wouldn't be endorsing this product. You can also test a lower fidelity, almost UGC version of this too. We do with the same crew, same cast, we'll film this high fidelity version, but then we'll also, again, have them take an iPhone, record a quick testimonial, very low fidelity, very organic, and test that against that one as well. And sometimes the iPhone version outperforms the ones we shot on $7,000 cinema cameras. Just kind of comes down to testing as well.
Wow. Okay.
So yeah, pretty crazy.
Yeah. All right. So is there another phase with the video sequence here? I think we're on
there. Yeah. So there is one more phase. And one caveat to that last phase, there is a kind of bonus video type that I would recommend for, again, customers who are on the edge, what we call an FAQ video. It's basically taking the FAQ version of your website and converting it into a video format. Very easy to do. Again, for anyone who has an e-commerce brand, you can do it one of two ways. You could do just very text heavy, graphics heavy, go to Fiverr and hire someone to literally say, here's my FAQs. Can you make these into a visual video for me and run these? The goal of this is you're addressing those concerns that customers have. So you pick the couple questions that, Joe, if you're really interested in coffee, you're like, well, how does it make me feel? Am I going to get too jittery? Where's it sourced from? Is it ethically sourced? Things like that would maybe have you on the line of purchasing this new coffee brand you've never heard of. And literally answering those. Could be the founder answering them, could be a person answering them, could be, just a random person on an iPhone. A lot of the times the framework that works best here is we show problem in text kind of pop up on the screen and then goes to someone actually talking, answering that question. And this works really, really well for someone who's kind of just on the edge that maybe has these concerns and you're literally speaking those questions back to them with the direct answers. And so that converts really, really well as part of this third or conversion stage of content. Interesting.
Okay. That's awesome. Okay.
Yeah. The last stage, I'm sure you're curious.
Let's do it. Yeah.
Last stage is what we call the nurturing stage. So this is very often overlooked by a lot of brands. A lot of brands, I would say 80% of the brands we worked with never even consider it. They've never created content there, but it can be probably the most powerful when it comes to recapturing that customer lifetime value. So this is going to be the content customers are getting hit with after they've purchased the product. So a lot of times brands will kind of give up. They'll say, hey, we sold it. We won, we made that $50 average order value, cool, on to the next customer. When realistically, it's much, much cheaper to get your previous customers to come back to you and buy again than it is to go capture a whole new cold customer and bring them all the way through those other phases again. Why not just retarget to your existing customers and kind of skip the first couple phases? So this nurturing phase content is going to be very much like similar to an awareness stage, but the customer already knows your brand. So we can switch up the video formats a little bit. One easy video is similar to the FAQ video. It's called the getting started video. So it's like, hey, we know you've purchased the product now. Now we're going to show you the best ways you can brew coffee with our product, things like that. So it might be like, hey, here's, you just purchased XYZ coffee brand. Now we're going to show you the best way to French press your XYZ coffee. Or, hey, you want to cold brew your XYZ coffee. Here's how you do it. So these are videos people are getting hit with right after they've purchased as an ad that's getting them to, again, further engage with the brand. Further
as an advertisement or through email or both?
Both. You can certainly use these videos so they have, a multi-platform value to them as an email, as, organic social. You can blast it out on the blog if you need to, but also running these as an ad ensures, again, more eyes get on that video, keeps people in that funnel that you're trying to keep your customers in, gets them to engage with it, comment on it, share it with other, potential customers who they know have bought from them. Just a really good way to, again, keep that engagement up. Another way to do this, again, really easy on an iPhone that anyone can do, is what we call a founder thank you video. So it could be literally me as the coffee company founder saying, hey, Joe, I really want to not Joe, but hey, thanks for buying our brand. We really appreciate you. Sometimes it gets borderline creepy because they know they're being targeted after buying the product. So use it with an air of caution in terms of how you message this. But it's simple as like, hey, thanks for buying our brand. We'd love to know what you're thinking about it. Click below to fill out a feedback form on the product. We're always trying to improve it. And instead of driving them back to a landing page, you're driving them to a type form that's giving us feedback about the product and showing that you care about their voice as a customer. And they're constantly using this feedback to now improve your product offerings going forward. So a lot of brands see success in this when we implement it. Not a lot of brands are doing it. Probably 98% of brands running paid social are not running any type of video like this and gathering feedback, but it just makes customers feel like their voice is being heard in this future products that are released. And now you can, remarket as those products come out and people see that their voice was captured in some way. So really powerful.
All of this should be done. I think about it just with Quiet Light. Everybody that buys or sells a business should get a thank you video with a survey type form from myself or Mark, asking them about their experience and how we can improve it next time.
Exactly.
Have we done it?
And
no.
To that same point, you can use it on email. You can take that video and blast it out on email. You put it out on social, put it out as a thank you page after somebody checks out with their order. There's so many ways you can do that basically and get more use out of just an ad from that type of video. Yeah.
So VAXA walks people through this, does all the video shooting and editing and getting it all done. But then do they have an outside agency that helps with the Facebook advertising, the social media advertising and retargeting and all of that? Or does VAXA do that as well?
Exactly. So the latter. So we're very much involved on the strategy side. Again, my background being in strategy and the creation. After that, we basically give customers the roadmap of here is exactly where you should place these videos. But we have found, we've actually had a paid ads team in the past. We had a paid social team in-house, just realized sure, it was fun, but that's a whole nother ballgame, whole nother set of stresses. Yeah. Made much more sense for us to, rather than try to keep up that team, just partner with the best of the best when it comes to executing video ads. So we've kind of now identified, a handful of agencies that we have in our partner program that are specifically aware of how to run these videos we're producing. We have our 15 different video frameworks we produce. They know exactly how to take those videos and put them in the right places. So we have, again, based on level of ad spend, whether you're spending $10,000 a month, $100,000 a month, $200,000 a month in Facebook ads, we kind of connect you with the right partner for that level of ad spend that's going to basically help take these ads and execute them. And again, in ways that a lot of paid social agencies might not. A lot of paid social agencies might not do, 95% viewership retargeting because they don't know that's a thing, or they might not be pushing nurturing stage content. So these agencies we work with are all about that. And that's why we work with them.
Excellent. Okay. Because that's the missing piece, for many people. It's, first shooting this, they could probably pull it off at some level on their phones. But then they have to do something with it. The editing, I would think, is very hard, doing the digital overlay, the names and things of that nature. It's just, I think it's just better to outsource that stuff, folks. That's why we get Justin here. That's all of the phases, I think, right?
Pretty much. And there's, other video types we'll sprinkle in and test from here and there. But for the most part, that covers the basics that someone from home, again, if they weren't going to work with us, could easily create almost all of those from an iPhone or, a basic editor on Fiverr or something. Not going to say they're going to convert nearly as well, but you could still produce them.
But yeah, let's just assume now that somebody wanted to reach out to you. How would they get started? If I was a new client of yours, what's the process like?
Yeah. So we initially start, before we even work with the client, make sure it's going to be a good fit for us. We have a couple different boxes we like to check in terms of, are they running ad spend? Are they going to be able to do the proper amount of testing where we're going to get learning off of this? So we do what we call our 20-minute creative strategy consultation. So we have customers book that from our website, vaxadigital.com. Once they book that, we hop on a call with them. A lot of times it's personally me hopping on this call to talk through, saying, hey, show me all the ads you guys are running. I'll take a look at all their paid social channels, where they're running ads, how they're using ads, and basically just give them a free breakdown. Like, hey, you guys are missing the mark here, here, here. We think we can solve it, fill those gaps with this type of creative in this specific spot. If they do decide they want to work with us to solve that for them, we have what we call a repeating content cycle. So we have a 4-week cycle of fresh content for every single brand we work with. So almost every client's on a retainer with us. Every month they're getting fresh new ad concepts to fuel whatever product or SKU or product line they're going after. It's about a week of pre-production and planning. We have a strategy call. We talk through what worked the previous months, what's worked for them in the past. We have about a 2-week production window where we're shooting, editing, planning, scripting, getting feedback, getting revisions done. And then we have about a week of testing. So during that testing window, again, we're working with our partners or their in-house team to get data. And that's really all we care about at the end of the day is what does the data tell us? If, UGC videos aren't working for a particular brand, even though everyone else swears by them, it doesn't really matter what's working for that specific brand. Let's make more of that. So if lifestyle promos are crushing it, we're going to create more lifestyle promos the next cycle, switch up the copy, switch up the elements, the actors, the talent, location. But really, we want to have a minimum of a week of testing and getting data back on click-through rates and ROAS before we even try to figure out what we want to do for the next cycle. And then it just hopefully continues to pay for itself and repeat itself. And that's how we build ideally lifelong relationships with most of our customers.
Beautiful, beautiful. How do folks reach you, Justin? They want to go ahead and get that initial consultation.
Yeah, so the easiest way to do it is just on our website, vaxadigital.com. You can also go to vaxa.digital/booking to go directly there. But if anyone has any questions on video, we're not going to force you to get on a call with me if you don't want to. If you just have a simple question based on this episode, you can always DM me at Justin Reels on Instagram or TikTok. I'll respond to pretty much all my DMs. So if you're just like, hey, give me your quick feedback on this UGC video I produced. Happy to, quickly run through some notes, send you back a voice memo. So feel free to DM me any questions you have around e-commerce video creative, and you don't even need to hop on a call with us. But obviously, if you're a bigger brand and you have some budget, I would love to chat, and we can certainly figure out where some money is being left on the table.
Beautiful. That's great that you're offering that up. That's fantastic. Justin, this was great. I'm intrigued and overwhelmed. We're going to have another conversation separate from this about doing some of this for the Expert's Playbook. Appreciate your time today.
Thank you, Joe. Appreciate you.